I'm now going to demonstrate to you a new product that we have on the tvtrade.ie website, and it's called a HDMI Repeater. Okay, so I'm simply going to open up this box and show you the various components. This is the HDMI Repeater itself. As you can see, there's a power indicator on it, a power input, a HDMI input on this side, and a HDMI output on this side. We come along then, we have the power unit itself, and then we also have two types of plug adapters that will come with it. We have a European plug and we have a British and Irish plug. So what we'll see here is we just have quite a good design here. So you pull down this unit here, lift this up, come along, right, put the plug in this way, and that's it. It's adapted, so it's ready to go. So how, I'll come back to the actual fully putting this in, and I'll just give an overview of how and when we'd use this particular product. We can have a situation here where we have a HDMI lead which is simply the wrong length, okay, and we need to join two HDMI cables together. Now, if it's a very, very short run of cable, we'll say if you're joining a 1 and a 3 meter length of cable together, you could use something like this product I have in front of me here, which is called a Hdmi Coupler. Now, this is an unpowered product, and how you would join it is you would simply insert a HDMI lead in one end, a HDMI lead in the other end, and the signal simply flows through. Now, this works quite well, it's quite a good product and things like this, but the big limitation you have on it is, number one, there's a certain level of signal loss with it, and number two, if you have long runs of cable, it's not suitable, okay? So, you know, as part of the range of products that we'd sell within TV Trade, we would have, we'll say, HDMI leads would vary in length from 1 meter all the way up to 20 meters, okay? And also we would come along and we would have things like splitters, so you can run a box in, a HDMI cable in, and split it to 2, 4, 6 or 8 rooms, okay? So where a product like this would come into its own is where you have a single cable coming from, we'll say, a HDMI satellite receiver such as a Sky Plus or an Edition or something like this, and you want to run it to a television that's, would say, you know, maybe 30 meters away. Well, you will not be able to source a 20 meter HDMI cable simply because the signal loss degradation over the length of the cable is too great. So what you need to do is you need to repeat the signal, okay? So what the repeater does is two things. Number one, it's joining together two different cables, and number two, it's actually boosting a signal, giving a dB boost to it, so you can drive the signal on and it'll be stronger after the join rather than before. So that means that instead of the full range being, we'll say, maybe 20 meters, you can now join together a 15 and a 20 meter cable and have a 35 meter range using this particular unit. Okay, so I'll come along here and I'll just give a demonstration of how we'd use it. So I'm just going to demonstrate it on a small cable here. So, because of course you could use it with small cable if you wanted to. So this is the input cable here, which is 3 meters long. And I'll come along here and we will use it with a 5 meter cable here. So I'll just show the far side of the unit here. It's the output, and we plug it in again. And now we have the two cables joined together like that, okay? So what we'll do here is we'll come along and we'll simply plug this unit in over here, like this. And I come in, I'm going to move the whole unit over here. I'm going to use the power lead here. And I'll just turn this unit around. You can see the power unit has now been plugged in, and you can see that there's now an output, and there's an LED lighting. So you can actually have this end plugged into a television and this into your satellite receiver, and it's exactly the same strategy you'd be using if you're using 20 or 15 meter cables in conjunction with it. So the disadvantage of that product is, number one is there's obviously, it's far more costly than using a coupler simply because it has a power unit, things like this. And the second thing is that there is you do need an external power source as well, but it has its place. I mean, it's a very, very good product and something that you know, we're going to continue to stock on the tvtrade.ie website. So that's it from beginning to end, a HDMI repeater.